Okay, Islam, Moorish American Nation and Family. Islam, Sheikh Dwayne Bey. Islam, around the Arrington-Bey, Sheikh Dwayne Bey. I am your wife. I know this, and I know this is truth. It's May 17th, 2023. And I'm not saying this because you owe me something or because of all the history since 2013. I'm not saying this because of making you feel guilty. I'm saying this because of truth. And I'll just leave it at that. And now, whether I'll be your wife in future lives or not, or even know you in future lives or not, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure, because Allah is great, but I am your wife, and I was trying to like fix my hair. So anyway, I'm just gonna just leave it as is, and just speak. So one of the things I want to say, I've been recording in Maryland. I was told that it's unlawful to record while you're employed. But when I started recording was after the situation happened. It's May 17th, 2023. I'm at Extended Stay America in Annapolis, Maryland. And you might can see some of the things here. Okay. I'm in Extended Stay America. I'm off work. The day is Wednesday. So what made me start recording as I work is well, first of all, I contacted the EEOC. That is a organization dealing with the United States government in reference to employment. And so let me make sure I say EEOC, Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. So it helps you. So if you're having issues with your job and you feel like you are being treated unfairly, the EEOC, what I've read, is a remedial to keep you employed, to communicate with your job and see what's the problem and come to some conclusion. And also, if you have, after they investigate, if they find reason to believe that you do have the right to sue, they can formulate a paper to demonstrate you have the right to sue. So I contacted the EEOC because I was being sent home because the manager, said I stink. She was clocking me out, and I was being clocked out before, and been told to clock out before through the years, losing hours. I couldn't, and at the time I wasn't recording, so it was just pretty much my documentation and word of mouth. Because your courts Birkin has their cameras, which can be manipulated. I'm not saying that they would, but I mean they can be manipulated. It's just like my recorder that I use. When there's certain things that happen, I notice there is a static or a skip. That could be, I guess you want to say, not seen as unlawful, whoever's being recorded at my job. So it's like, why at certain times that there's a skip on my recorder? And knowing that we are among humanoid robots that can be used by the United States Navy, Army, and the police to do such things. And I'm referring to unnaturalized, because if they're naturalized, why would they be doing such things in the first place? Why would they even be an issue where the United States Navy, Army, or other military branches or police would be involved in anything in reference to something that could be possibly taken to court as being unlawful? Okay, unless they are unnaturalized criminals and they are being controlled by a foreign entity, Islam. So I learned that Maryland has a law stating that you cannot record. When I sent this to my Moorish American Nation and Family, they was like, it sounds like you have stipulations. And then as I kept sending the information, obviously I have strong stipulations, because when you document certain things that happen, For example, I'm not from Maryland. Imani and I weren't from Maryland, aren't from Annapolis. But and I when I was on my phone, pretending to talk to someone, communicating with you through video, is because we didn't know anyone here in Annapolis. But yet I was seeing so many odd things that I didn't, and that could be considered violent and harmful. Especially when I start hearing people in Annapolis say I paid, and my dreams being manipulated in my sleep. And it seemed as though they people in Annapolis, those that imply to be connected to the United States Navy, Army, and the police as well, and then average citizens, it seemed that a lot of their odd behavior was connected to demonstrating that they paid someone. So the thing is, who are they saying they paid? So if they saying they paid and then they use the word more, or they saying paid more, because who are they? I'm connected to my Moorish American nation and family, and then they saying the word man as though at first I thought they were saying, people would say man as like be a man, or someone's not, be awesome, keep your manhood. But I realized when the word racist, someone starts saying racist, especially if they're African American, and I was under the status of African American, and they saying racist, and they looking at me, something must be different about them. Okay. So I can't say every single case or every single time this has happened, but as time went on, because I've never experienced such things in that manner, I started to say to myself, why are they saying racist African American blacks, unless they claim a nationality, and then they looking towards me? I'm like, okay, because my whole family, I think Imani and I are the only ones that claim a nationality and have been naturalized under a organic constitution of 1787, the 13th Amendment with 20 sections, as far as I know. And I come from a huge family. My grandmother on my father's side had 18 children. My grandmother on my mother's side had 6, but this is not including the cousins and aunts and other branches and so forth, or, family. So as far as I know, Imani and I are the only ones that have been naturalized as who we truly are, Moors. We're the only one that return to our true selves and are continuing to be our true selves as naturalized Moors under laws of freedom in a jurisdiction of freedom. So when I realized after the situation with Phyllis sending me home, which I didn't know, once again, I say this, I didn't know her husband was a retired from the Navy until November 2020. I knew, I found out about James, the manager, being connected to the Army through listening to him, talking to someone, a regular customer that still comes into Burger King, still to this day. A lot of these people still come to Burger King. Not one person that I spoke about, I don't think, that's connected to the Navy and Army and military. And you got pale skins that come to the Navy and Army, military. They asking about military discount. You have those that speak Spanish, that looks Mongoloid, that comes in connected to the United States Navy and Army, in the Navy and Army, and so forth. But everyone I spoke about, they still come to the Burger King still to this day. I leave room for error unless they have transition. But as far as I know, they still, the ones I have spoke about in the past, they still come to Burger King to this day. So James, the manager, was talking to one of the regular customers that come to Burger King, another black male, and they were speaking military terms, it sounded like. So I asked them, this was maybe, I don't know, close to a year before Phyllis was speaking so loud about her husband retired from the Navy. And he said either he was in the Army or he's still in the Army. I'm not sure. But I never returned and communicated about him being in the Army again, as in having a communication. I just let it be after that, because I was just, he was talking so loud and definitely using military terms. I was like, okay. So it led me to ask. But even before then, I was being clocked out. And usually it had something to do with African American Black Negro males. Now, at the time, I didn't know who was in the military, who was connected to the police, and who wasn't. But I was hearing those that seemed to be African American Black Negro and those that speak Spanish say paid a lot. And so if you are trying to implement that you are trying to say that you paid someone that owns, so this is just hypothetically. So if you are trying to say someone owned me, okay, the Moors own me. They own me, my mind. So just the fact that you saying that you implying that Moors, the National Grand Sheik Joe Arrington-Bey, are Moorish American, because we all supposed to be naturalized under laws of freedom. And so in that, any Moor that tries that balance and go both ways in reference to saying they sold you, he sold you, then that Moor is accountable for that curse. Okay? Because if you are a naturalized Moor under laws of freedom, the word sold, a Moor selling someone, whether it's dealing with mental status, physical status, whatever it may be, is contradicting everything that we stand for. It's contradicting everything that we have affirmed to uphold. So it's like, what more would try or even imply such things? But there are Moors that have. Too many. But when you are in freedom and you are in a pure state and you are trying to implement purity in your naturalized state of mind, you realize that what you experience, whether it's mental attacks, physical attacks, these are acts of terrorism. Acts of terrorism, because in a world of truth, of organic life, there is no bondage. There is no bondage. So no one can own anyone. But if you are trying to implement and you are trying to demonstrate how you have the right to rape, invade someone's mind, attack them mentally, spiritually, psychologically, because you are trying to demonstrate you paid, because you're trying to bring forth an energy of bondage and harm, then and if your mind is so mentally ill and thinking such, and you yourself, and maybe you are some laboratory experiment, like I said, Black saying racist, Spanish speaking saying racist, to be from Mexico, South Central America, Mongoloid, whatever, saying racist and looking towards me or at me, then, so you may be some laboratory experiment, a humanoid robot, AI, whatever, some other type of beast. Because if scientists it is known now that they manipulate DNA, genes, so forth. Then what would you not do? So I have heard the word paid many times at Burger King, or FUCKU many times at Burger King. To accuse someone saying that's why they said it, I'm not going to do that. But what caused me to start recording was after I contacted the EEOC. And then I contacted the EEOC, then I had a meeting with Janelle, the owner. And so Phyllis, before this happened, once again, I started working for Burger King in June of 2016. And during this time, I was seeing through the years, Annapolis police males acting odd, military males acting odd, and some of the females in Annapolis predominantly have been African American Black Negro. Hearing them say 3 or Mason. 3, like some type of program or animal, some type of beast. I mean, literally saying the word 3 in a very odd manner. And then once again, my dreams being manipulated. I know myself. I've dreamt before. When I say dreams are manipulated, they are manipulated. Hearing the low frequency in the room. So I started recording in this room, and sure enough, you can hear. You can hear clear that there's something in the room, some type of energy in the room that's not supposed to be there. So if you're trying to demonstrate you paid mores, those mores are dirty. For I have heard this many times. Maybe you have done business with mores that are dirty. When they say dirty, they're trying to say they are not true mores. They are demonstrating one hand nationality, but on the other hand, through the telepathic code that they might have or might not have, or on the other hand, they are doing business with the unclean, unnatural spirits that implement bondage. That's what they're saying. So they saying these Moors, they showing one side of a face, but we know that we know they've been paid, and we know the truth about them. They not true Moors. Yes, they're educated. They can take you to court, but with us knowing the facts about them, knowing the facts that they know about slave breeding and breeding Moors with those that are unnatural and unclean in spirit, to break that line up. We know that we know they're involved with this. And we know that they have been involved with these breeding techniques for a long time. So we're going to keep saying we paid, because we know those Moors are not true Moors. And we're going to implement and demonstrate. This is what that unclean, what I see, because what I've experienced. And we're going to demonstrate how really dirty and unclean and unlawful these Moors are, because they're not true Moors. Yes, they have money, and they have their status, but we're going to show you how dirty these Moors really are, how they really get down and dirty. So this is what the energy is with this unclean, unnatural spirit. And this is my spiritual sight, and it's plain to see for those that can see. So for years, Sheik Dwayne Arrington-Bey, I've been claiming to be your wife, because that's what I am and have been. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. I have been. I have demonstrated I'm your wife. I have not slept with anyone, cheated on you. I haven't done anything that was unlawful in reference to my marriage, except for trying to have understanding on a spiritual and mental level, because there is a plane that we connected with. What happened? Because I awoke in 2010, and I was still awakening when I met you, and then we consummated our vows. I was still returning to my true self, but I knew something was different about me, and I knew that something was extraordinary about me, extraordinary. When I say extra, I'm saying I experienced something where sets me apart from many, and then I started to connect the dots of what that unclean abomination spirit is really trying to stop, and it's dealing with frequency. Okay, frequency. So I'm not going to get too much into frequency, but definitely when you recognize frequency, then you know. To me, this is where the context of Job. When in the Bible, the Holy Bible, this is, now I'm not saying this is what he's saying, but when I started to connect frequency even more, and I have been, and I'm still learning what frequency is. So in Job, the first 6 books of the Holy Bible, he went to the Lord to offer offerings, and the Lord said, Job, why is Satan with you? When you are in the mix and you are connecting to those that are unclean, or you have bred an unclean abomination energy into your line, that is a frequency that travels in the line. Or if you demonstrate unclean behavior, that's frequency. Yes, you can get your status, and you can be educated as a more, and you are able to demonstrate different forms of gems and stones, and you moving forward in your exoteric energy and thoughts. But that frequency, when you have crossed the lines, and you have not corrected what you've done wrong. In fact, you have did things where it has made it a challenge for you to correct it. Because because of whatever reason, maybe you feel that there's an energy trying to hold you to whatever unclean, unnatural behavior you partake in. I don't know. This is I'm just giving a hypothetical thought. So all this is frequency. So the Lord said, Job, why is Satan with you? That low frequency. Even Job said, according to the book, said he felt that his children had cursed the Lord or God in their heart in so many words. I don't have it in front of me. So my thoughts about this is frequency. And then when you breed with unclean, or you involve with bondage, you involve with deceit, you breeding a species of beings in a line where the frequency is known to be high, because that's who we are, and then you as a more are involved and you partake in it, and that which is unclean and unnatural know the agenda of why the forced breeding is happening, because of that low abomination frequency. So what these unclean spirits are saying is those Moors are dirty. They're not true Moors. They dirty. That's what they're saying. They're not trying to hide it. They're not trying to cover it up. They call out names. They are really saying straight out, those Moors in the Moorish American National Republic, the Washita, and other Moors are really dirty. They can say what they want to say, but we know whether it's the unclean spirits that are in the connection with the TV, unclean spirits in connection with foreign nations, foreign entities, corporate, whether the military, unnaturalized, the police, they're saying, we know those Moors are dirty, and we're going to show you that we paid. And they're going to allow us to implement this because they're dirty, because we paid them. This is where the connection comes, unclean spirits saying, brother paid. And then stalking the room or trying to force engage. Not all that say brother, but too many. Like they trying to ritualize, or saying she love your son. African American black female sound like a beast. an animal. I love your son. Like a robot. So this is in Annapolis. So getting back, so they were sending me home before Phyllis started saying I stink. But I didn't have I mean, all I could do was write it down. I didn't have nothing to show. And I never experienced such things. I didn't know what, I was like trying to understand why they sending me home over, or telling me to clock out. They get angry. And usually it was dealing with a black Negro male, African-American male customer. After I take their order, not because they complained. It's after I took their order. Like they got a signal somewhere. And they would just get irritated or whatever reason, just very odd and irrational. So Phyllis started saying I stink and saying I'm sending me home. And then I was doing all these different measures to try to demonstrate that I'm not wearing the Palo Santo oil anymore. I started to one time literally I stopped by Whole Foods, demonstrated I changed my shirt. Okay, this was in 2022. Demonstrated I changed my shirt and everything. Went there and I think it was less than 10 minutes, whatever. She clocked me out saying I stink. Changed into my clothes. And so I've been working for Burger King since June of 2016. Pretty much wearing, for years, wearing the same thing. Then when I did the meeting with Janelle was saying, when I brought up, I said, Janelle, I brought up the cursing on the line, saying the F-U-C-K word. F-U-C-K is usually connected to some form of sex. Some form of sexual content. So I was like surprised that the employees are saying this word like it's nothing in front of customers. Some are connected to the military, some are not. They just, it's like, why are they saying these words and cursing and being so aggressive? So it just kept building and building and building through the years. So I told Janelle about this. Then I brought up, I said, Janelle, I know many people know Phyllis and the managers and so forth. Many customers do for years. But that should not interfere with me doing my job as an employee at Burger King. I mean, Phyllis, the manager, James, Thomas, none of them should behave odd, Jade, towards me because of a customer wanting to engage more than just basic business, hi, how you doing, customer service, energy or interaction. So customer is upset because they can't flirt or communicate like they want to. When a lot of them come, just having a visual now. I'm experiencing a visual now of the Vietnam veterans hat come and they feel offended because they're not having a long enough communication with me. And then all of a sudden, moments later, the managers start behaving odd or irritated towards me. I said I said I don't, what relationship the managers have with the customers, with the customers shouldn't interfere. So I'm doing my job. I'm respecting them. It shouldn't interfere with what's going on with my job and me earning money. And that's when Janelle started to say that they offered me money and they offered me a place to live when I first came here, and they tried to talk to me about the Constitution, and I was like rude and angry, and I was rude and rude or so many words. In so many words, I was just very aggressive in responding back to their offer of help. And I was like, you offered me a place to stay when I came to Annapolis? I never told Phyllis, never told Janelle, anyone that Imani and I, when we first started working at Burger King, was in a challenging place of staying. Never told anyone. But I said, you saying this? I said, I don't remember that. I would remember that. And I was new to Annapolis, and I was thinking to myself, I told her, I said, "Are you trying?" And I rejected it in an aggressive manner. And then CJ and Carl was there behind her, agreeing with everything she said. So after that, I started recording. And then the recorder stopped, but she also said, if I remember correctly, that because I had recorded the meeting, said that that I accused one of the customers of rape. This is why I started recording. And then as I recorded, because Thomas said that he don't use the word Mo. He was just, everything is on recording. Just everything started just really just getting more, just building. Everything that I have stated in the past is being demonstrated in the recording. So I was, this is what started me to record. So the Moors, the Sheikah's Marie Bey, she was like, you have stipulations. Not only that, then me having to call the police because of black males trying to force engage as I'm trying to earn money. I'm walking to earn money at Burger King. Predominantly have been black males. Only one time it wasn't. Had to call the police on because a black male was irregular. Thought that I was trying to record him or take his picture, and actually walked towards me like he was about to like fight or something. And I was like, first of all, I wasn't going to take your picture or anything like that, but I was saying there's cameras all over here. Why you worried about me taking your picture? This is before I start recording. Now, this is through the years. Through the years, I've never experienced the aggressive behavior, nor have I experienced any place, being at a place where in the room where I hear feedback. And the feedback sound like a program saying, brother paid, I paid, I love your son. Military. Like trying to program or saying the word 3, Mason. I've heard Burger King. So these are in reference to and I'm not accusing extended stay America. All I'm doing is giving testimony and then backing up what I say with truth. So I'm not just speaking, I'm actually demonstrating what I am saying is truth. So these are acts of terrorism. Acts of terrorism. Now, whether these unclean, unnatural spirits are doing deals with Moors who have literally cursed themselves. Literally. It's no ifs, ands, buts about it. They have cursed themselves possibly for eternity. That's on those Moors. I'm not sure. But I know I am striving to be a true Moor, and I have affirmed to uphold naturalized laws of freedom. And because I have done such things, my nose always looks so like prominent when I use the camera this way. Everything I send a frequency out to Moors who also are demonstrating they are trying to be or are true Moors, uphold laws of freedom. And they have understanding about the frequency in their line, which also connects to the organic frequency of Earth and the universe, that high frequency. So Sheik Dwayne Battlefield Bay, once again, whether or not these unclean spirits have done deals with some Moors that are Washita, some Moors that are in the Moorish American National Republic, and they feel like they have done enough deals and backing up or whatever they feel they have done, that is on those Moors. They have cursed themselves. And you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. And that's the fear. So what I do, I pray for my Moorish American nation and family, and I keep sending that frequency out. Because the truth will always demonstrate itself. She, not it, she will always demonstrate herself, because truth is in organic laws, natural laws of the earth and the universe. So yesterday, Sheikh Dwayne Baffa-Bey, as I was working, I found it odd because there's a police officer, like many police officers that have, too many that have come in and behave odd. This one's African American. He has green eyes. His name is Phil Thompson. He's now a detective. He's been coming in Burger King for years. And sometimes he would come into Burger King, so like he say, like some of the military black males, say brother. Well, definitely yesterday. But the recorder skipped. So Dora told me, because it was right after Anthony, there's a person named Anthony that works here at Extended Stay America, came to Burger King to get something. I have never spoke to him on a personal level at Burger King. I just take his order if I'm the one taking his order, and I give him customer service and say thank you, bye. Okay, this was yesterday, which was May the 16th, 2023. A few moments later, Philip Thompson, the detective, ordered, but Minnie took his order. I think it was a Whopper with cheese meal, no pickles, with everything on it, he said. And the word fine. Some of the people in Annapolis say the word fine over like over energized. Like they try and demonstrate someone is fine. Not saying this is why everyone said, like they try, how when a woman is, or a man is fine, that's fine, she fine. That's how they say it. Like they trying to ritualize the word fine towards someone. Like they ritualize in saying the word brother, and then say the word fine or brother, or saying brother paid. So after Minnie took the detective's order, Phil Thompson, I left because Dora, right in the midst of her finishing up the transaction, Dora, which is Spanish speaking, asked me to make a vanilla and chocolate shake. I said okay. So I went and made it. Then I came back, and then I said, I spoke. I said, how you doing, Phil Thompson? He said, fine. Or I think he used the word fine. I could be wrong, but I got to re-listen. But then definitely he said, brother, like that. But then when I listened to it again, when I listened to the recording just a few moments ago, it was a skip. This was like at 1 hour and 17 minutes. So Anthony, that works for Extended Stay, came in order at 1 hour and 14 minutes, and then 1 hour and 17 minutes. Phil Thompson was there placing the order. But this is not, so when he said that, I was like, okay, but this is not the first time. I mean, he's coming to Burger King, and you know how you like tightening up your belt, so it's hard. So he has walked towards the register. He was doing something to his, I don't know, his midsection, but you couldn't help but look. It's sort of not, you couldn't help but look. I would say it will, if someone pays, if like I'm pay close attention to details. Okay, if you're a police officer or you work in the military, you learn to study behavior, and you know the behavior and personality of people. Okay, so the detective Phil Thompson was used his hand, and he poured towards his midsection. I don't know, because sometimes he have his badge there, or sometimes not. Burger King offers police officers a discount, and I looked down there. And I thought it was odd because sometimes his energy, he looks, I don't know, odd. Sometimes sounds like he's saying your son. I didn't have a recording. Sometimes he's not the only one. I've heard, but yesterday definitely he was like looking angry. He said, "Bruh," but then the recorder skipped when I listened to it. But he's not the only police officer, and he's not the only military male. I mean, I'm not saying he's military, but other military males have done it. I don't know if he's connected to the military, but I know that many people know one another around here. So if you I'm not saying that the officer is trying to implement, but definitely I've heard him say your son just like that, which is SGT Army. He drives this, I don't know his name, but he uses a blue truck. He's been coming in there, or a black truck has SGT Army, will come in and say words or behave odd, and then or black males talking to him will start or afterwards, or there's some type of friction close or before or after the situation of him entering Burger King. It's like a sequence. Same with those that come in, black males with the Vietnam veteran hat, predominantly. But there's pale-skinned Vietnam veterans as well. So I'm trying to give you a picture, why there's stipulations that I, as a naturalized Moor, can record. Then sometimes I would hear them say, I'm experiencing a thought, I'm going to use it. Hear people out of the blue through the years, just especially in reference to saying brother paid. Then they start saying sue her, like they plan to sue her, or say your son, and then look at a police car, like they plan to set someone up to set Imani up in reference to the police. Or they start saying, she love your son. And like there's some type of energy about, like if you keep saying she love your son, and you hearing a feedback in the room of a female, and I keep tweeting and giving testimony that does not correlate, that there is no type of correspondence with Imani and I with anyone personally here in Annapolis. What will you do to implement how you feel you have the right as a beast, an animal, robot, artificial intelligence, whatever you may be, transhuman, to have sex or some type of forced engagement, deceitful engagement with someone, and then say I paid? So most of everything I have given testimony about through the years, I have been able to prove. Why? I didn't have no way to prove it. Everything I was saying was just writing down, and then I had one time I was literally just recording me deep breathing at Burger King, and Thomas came out of nowhere saying F-U-C-K loud while I was deep breathing. Usually it's because I learned, I send you videos, Sheik Dwayne Baffle Bay, of me deep breathing. He just can't, and this is at Burger King. Because I still deep breathe a lot of times on my break. Help me maintain mental balance. So when a situation happened, where the manager is being acting irrational, or communicating or being very discriminative, telling me to shut up, cursing me, whatever, I'm able to handle it in a manner where I don't behave in the same uncivilized, because to me that's uncivilized. Now it might not be to others, but I think if you telling someone who's your age, or even just an adult, to shut up, like after you try to criticize them, or you trying to give them criticism of some sort, and they trying to understand why you just say shut up, or you cursing and whatever, I think that's uncivilized. Like, why are you doing this? What is your reason for behaving so angrily towards someone who is humble, and you tell her do this, she say okay. Where is the friction coming from? I have never said or accused anyone at Burger King of being transhuman, a robot, not human, not a man, not a woman, on Twitter, the videos, anything like that. So where is this energy coming from? And no have ever said that I want to get to know any of them, any of whoever know them personally. I just try to treat them with respect and leave. I never said I want to be a werewolf. Never said or Birdman. None of that. I come to work and leave. So where is this energy of anger or as irritation, like I don't want to work with her. Where is it coming from? So yesterday I sent the recording to National Grand Chic because I always send them emails about what's going on. I've been doing it. They have plenty of emails. I'm saying this to you, Chic the Way Alphabet, but you know this Moorish American Nation. More herbs. I send emails what I experienced because I filled out the paper of a complaint form. And after I did that, 2 pale skins came out, the regular pale skin male that's been coming out, sitting at the window, looking towards the window, coughing. Sometimes he'll just cough and say, like sound like he's saying brother, paid, but I don't know. That's what, you know how you can say something and you'll cough? That's what it sound like. So last night, after I sent the email about the detective Phil Thomas, I say maybe 10 minutes after I sent the email about it, Thompson, he's not the only one. Once again, that's when another pale skin with a dog, it sounded like, or some dog somewhere close by was out there, and I started to feel sharp pains all over my body. And then I started hearing them say schedule. So one of them was saying schedule, like someone's schedule at work. So if you're trying to implement, and I'm not saying this is the case with them, but I'm giving you a sequence of events, because then what I started to do, like I have done, because I was hearing a lot of low frequency energy as well, like feedback in the room. I started to speak to Imani to calm myself down, and I started to laugh it off. I started to think about hearing the words fine, Annapolis saying fine all the time, people in Annapolis, as in, or too many times, but not with the energy of, yes, I'm fine, okay, thank you, but I'm fine, like someone's fine, and brother paid. And I started thinking about hearing the frequency while I'm taking showers. While I'm taking showers, you can hear some type of energy or noise in the bathroom while I'm taking a shower, like a robot, like artificial intelligence. And I was thinking about, so I just started laughing to Imani about this, and the word fine. And the word racist. And I started thinking about how Annapolis has Africans here. Some of them, they behave the exact same way, but not as aggressive. Maybe because they're not naturalized. They don't have the green card. But you could tell that, but definitely some of them from Senegal. I have never dealt with them that from Senegal on a personal level, ever. Okay, 2 of them that used to work for Burger King, well, actually 3 of them went to go work for Whole Foods. So one was wearing a hijab. She works there. I think I asked her name once. I spoke to her one time at Whole Foods, in reference to conversation. And I just kept it positive. She asked about birth cancer, everything is okay. And she like, are they behaving? So I said, yeah, everything fine, and move on. And then Muhammad, I still see him at Whole Foods. And then there was another guy named Musa. All three of them are supposed to be from Senegal. And then there's a guy named Aliou that from Senegal that worked for Burger King now. So when I go to Whole Foods, I still see Muhammad and the girl, or the I don't know how old she is. I think she's from either Senegal or Gambia, that wears the hijab at Whole Foods. So I don't know them personally. Never had a personal conversation, just basic, Even when they were working at Burger King, I kept it basic, especially with the one with the hijab. So maybe the reason why they're not so aggressive is because they don't have their green card. I'm not saying that is the reason, but I don't know if they do or not. If they don't have a green card and they still in that in between status, then they're not going to be but so aggressive and trying to show some type of brotherhood with the rest in hopes that they get a green card and so forth. So let me finish the thought. So as someone just knocked on the door out there. So that what I'm demonstrating is the reason why there's stipulations. Okay? Still to this day, Phyllis looks at me like this. Like something wrong. And she still does like this. The new girl, Samaria, she addressed me as love. And Mo, she only been working for Burger King, I think maybe 2 months. And she already addressing me as Mo and love. She's African American. And she also doing like this. Phyllis, really coming close a few times when she's irritated, almost hitting me still again. I just sort of just back away and stay humble. Because she didn't hit me. But she still don't, some days it's okay for me to stand next to her and grab something. Some days it's not. Some days I can go in the drive-thru. To get, to make drinks. Some days she tell me to stay out the drive-thru. So it's like, I don't, so the question would be why? Because I didn't stink last year. But what I was doing is demonstrating what I'm going to show, what I'm going to do to demonstrate that I never stink. Because I thought, or stink. I was thinking, the Palo Santo, because I had just like 2 days before she said she smelled something, I had washed my hair with Palo Santo and documented on Twitter. It was June the 19th, 2022. And she complained about the scent in my hair, if I remember correctly, June the 21st, 2022. Or the scent on me, my hygiene. So I knew it was that. Then when I washed my hair and did everything and I was showing everything I could do, she still was complaining, clocking me out. And then it was black males would be coming in, they'll come in and look odd and then leave, and then all of a sudden she'll behave odd and clock me out and say I stink or have whatever. This is what caused me to start to record, along with a whole bunch of other stuff, because I'm not from Annapolis. But it makes me want, it's like, if I only knew, I probably would have recorded years ago. But, I was like, I've never experienced such things. I was just writing down, and it's like, okay, I'm going to act like I'm talking to someone so these people don't think I'm all by myself. Because they obviously behaving maybe possibly this way because they see me as a woman with a young child, with a young adult, Imani, by herself. I never thought I would have to behave this way with the Annapolis police, the military, Navy, and Army here, and they too, too many of them be involved in why I have to behave, why I have to demonstrate such actions. Islam.